Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Today we're going to be shooting 8x10 Polaroid portraits of people here in Brooklyn. Together with Brooklyn Film Camera, we set up an event where people could book a slot online to come have their portrait taken on 8x10 black and white Polaroid film, which is honestly one of the coolest Polaroid formats that you can get. The negatives or positives are huge. And at this venue called the House of Yes, we're going to be setting up a little studio where people can come have their portraits taken, socially distant, of course. There was 45 slots online. They were all booked out, so it should be a really fun day of taking some portraits on this super cool medium. And I think we're gonna get set up inside. Should we head in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yo. What's up? The setup is already going.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Just go on the pump up.
Is this a chamonix? Is that what it's called? Yeah. How's it going? We got a 360. So divided by 4, 90? Quick maths. We're using a light here because 8x10 requires a lot of light since it's such a large piece of film. You can see that on the lens, the lowest aperture is 6.8, and I'm assuming we'll be shooting at 16 or 22 maybe. So the film that we're using here is Polaroid Originals 8x10 black and white film. The reason we're doing black and white is mainly for processing time. They do make this in color as well, and it's a new film that you can still go out and buy for retail price when it is available. But this stuff takes about 4 or 5 minutes to process, which is pretty quick, and it's quite unique. So we'll show you how this works real quick. This film is actually partially handmade in the Netherlands, sort of frame by frame. So this right here is the negative of the film, and this is what you actually expose. It just looks like paper because obviously it's protected. It goes in the holder, you pull out the dark slide and you expose the negative. Once that's done, this goes in here and you combine it with a positive, which is what actually makes the print. You can see this works just like a normal Polaroid. If you've ever shot Polaroid Originals, there's just 3 chemical pods in here, and these essentially just get mushed together in this processing machine right here. I do want to talk through this shoot a little bit because at this point in the day we started playing music pretty loud, started doing some tests, and eventually people started showing up as well, which was the fun part. As you can see right here, we were trying to shoot some test shots to make sure everything was working properly before we got anybody seated in front of the camera. And I got stressed pretty quickly because the first 2 photos came out blank. They were totally dark, there was no exposure on them, even though in my head I knew I was doing everything correctly with the camera.
Are you worried that's you?
Listen,
I'm worried
that was my first shot, so very well could have been me, but I feel like I did it right. It ended up being just 2 bad pieces of pre-exposed film somehow, and after our 3rd shot we were on the way, so we got the first group of people in. It was really interesting trying to work with people. Some people had intentions in terms of what they wanted the photos to look like, and some people were much more open-minded about it and just kind of told me, do whatever you think was best. 2, 1, sweet.
Does it have like a funny long exposure, or is it just quick?
It's quick, yeah.
Okay.
Because of the flash, it doesn't need a long
right,
exposure.
Right.
Some thoughts on using this Chamonix 8x10 camera. This was literally my first time ever touching an 8x10 camera, and all of a sudden I was shooting 60 pieces of probably the most expensive film that I can think of. Shooting through this 8x10 glass is really beautiful, and it's such a lifelike experience being under that cloth and composing the photo because that piece of glass is just so big. Especially in a studio environment like this where the camera doesn't really have to be moved, and you know, the form factor and size of it isn't really a burden. It was just a ton of fun to use. Kyle's gonna do me good here.
In the literal hot seat.
I want to give a special thank you to Brooklyn Film Camera for having me at this event. It was an honor, and thank you so much to everybody who came by to have their portrait taken. It was really fun meeting all of you and getting to chat. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and finally I want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Squarespace is an incredible online website building platform that you can use to build your photography portfolio online. I've been using Squarespace for over 3 years at this point, and their incredibly customizable templates and online customer support just makes it so easy to get a website with your photography up and running. If that does sound like something you're interested in, you can hit the link in my description for a 14-day free trial of Squarespace. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Willem for 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain.